All right, everybody. So without fail, every Wellness Wednesday, Memorial Health's Mary Jo Horton drops some life-changing knowledge on us. And last week, she threw out a little nugget that made me realize my entire life has been a lie, Mary Jo. That's just what you did. All right, she's here to clear it up for us. We're talking about control, is what we're talking about. And you said during our conversation last week about storm season anxiety, you said control was a myth.
Yes.
And intellectually, I knew that, but to hear you say it in that way blew my mind. So I knew we needed to talk about that.
Yes, I'm excited.
So when you say control is a myth, explain that.
So we don't have control over our outcomes of our actions, how people take us.
Yeah.
We don't have control over if something goes well, our plans. We just mentioned we don't have control over emotions that we may feel, thoughts that we may have. And so if you really think about it, our circle of control is extremely limited.
So the part about not controlling thoughts we have and emotions, because a lot of people are like, no, I'm in control of my, you're not.
No, and think about it.
Yeah.
If you experience anxiety and you try to control your anxiety, it will rear back at you and you'll experience it tenfold.
Every time.
Every time. You know, if you get distressed and say to yourself, I'm not going to think about that, that's all that you think about. So the attempts of control actually make things worse.
And that's your brain naturally may kick in and try to do that.
Absolutely.
We're going to talk about some strategies to navigate around that. We are unable to enjoy unplanned things or changes in plans because of this need to control.
This happens when folks make a plan, they're very excited about it, and if anything goes awry in that plan, even if everything else turned out wonderful, they are so fixated that it did not go the way that they needed to have gone.
Yes.
And so they can't even enjoy a spontaneous conversation, a dinner or an evening out, or certainly not a vacation or work or an event, because unless it was controlled in their manner, they're disappointed, they're depressed, they're angry.
And it can be just from one little thing going astray and you didn't control it now the whole thing's ruined.
I planned the whole thing. Why can't I get it to happen the way I need it?
That is an unhappy existence though, right?
It is. There's more suffering in the attempts to control than just what the situation is presenting itself.
And then when we were talking earlier, so this has an impact, and you've said this a little bit, depression, anxiety, all of the things, our interactions with people around us, our loved ones.
Meaningful relationships.
Work.
I mean, think about it. You're chronically depressed because nothing is going the way you want, and you're angry with yourself because you tell yourself that if you would just try harder and control it more, it would work out well.
Yeah.
And then people get the sense that you're never really yourself because you're kind of trying to control the encounter and them.
Yeah. You know, I was thinking about this. People of faith, people who have faith, a lot of them understand that they have no control because they believe in a higher power.
Right.
But not everyone is a person of faith.
Right.
And so you don't have that higher power.
Yes, or even people of faith, they have a deep-seated belief and understanding that there's greater purpose and meaning. But I have very much seen people who are still a perfectionist or still try to make their loved ones happy, and they're doing it in this really great place, but they are still trying to control things. Yeah. And this is why I'm a big believer, the phrase of let go of control is inaccurate. Let's stop attempting to control because you didn't have it in the first place.
Yeah, so you can't let go of something you never had.
And really, I find it liberating.
And this is one of your strategies. So let's get to these before we run out of time. So our strategies for navigating the myth of control. The first one, practicing radical acceptance of the lack of control.
Radical acceptance. Let's live in the reality of it. I'm upset, period. I'm having a difficult time, period. This person is upset, period. When we can live with periods rather than comma, we're living in acceptance.
All right, and embracing our emotions, thoughts, and our life without judgment.
Let's roll through. Let's not get stuck in. We're going to experience the whole buffet of emotions. We're going to have thoughts that we don't want to have. How can we experience life fully without judging ourselves?
Don't judge yourself for your emotions, all right? Developing healthy skills on navigating and going through life with awareness.
That's the whole goal, I think. It's not about not having emotions or feelings or issues. It's about how do I experience my life in a way that I'm not adding to my baggage, I'm gaining resiliency, and I'm having a meaningful life.
It's okay to have these feelings.
Yes, of course. We have all of them.
All right, and then embrace the feeling, like you were saying, of liberation once control is not
I
sought.
ask this to people, isn't it liberating to realize you don't have control? And people say, no, it's anxiety provoking. And I think, but think about it. Now you get to live.
Because you're off the hook, really.
You're off the hook. Let's lower the expectation. You don't have to make everything nice and correct and beautiful and perfect. You can go through it the way that it was meant to be.
This conversation is for every adult, every child, every worker, every boss.
Yes.
Everybody needs to understand this core concept.
Right.
Control is a myth.
Control is a myth, and it is liberating to be able to say that I'm going to live it without trying to control it to end my suffering.
Let's be liberated, everybody.
Yes.
I love that. Thank you, Mary Jo. All right, Tina.